What do you do when somebody invites your lovable but not particularly well-trained puppy up on stage with you whilst you're giving a talk in front of a lot of people? Get off my table! Yeah, we'll find out. Hey, I'm Kat from the Motorhome Travel website Wandering Bird. Today I am sharing with you my NEC speech, which has been requested by lots of you actually, so thank you for that. For those of you who don't know, the NEC Camping Caravan and Motorhome show invited me back after last year, which was nice enough in itself. But they invited me back to share some tips about taking your motorhome or campervan to Europe for the first time. Things you need, what to do, how to plan it, all that kind of stuff. So I shared all that on stage. I wasn't supposed to bring my dog on stage. It wasn't until the actual morning of the speech where I turned up at the NEC and they're like, "Where's your dog?" And I was like, "He's in the motorhome where he's supposed to be, because dogs aren't allowed in the NEC Camping Caravan and Motorhome show." And they were like, "Oh, you can bring him on stage. We've had other dogs on stage before." And I'm like, well-trained dogs, maybe, but he's not particularly well-trained. And I'm not entirely sure what he would do if I was sort of speaking and he was on stage and he was a bit overwhelmed and things. They were like, "It'll be fine, we'll get permission for you to bring him in." So literally less than 30 seconds later, the compere Roland is on the phone to some big important person at the NEC getting permission for Mac to be escorted on stage with me. And I'm like, I don't quite know how to get out of this situation. I don't know what he's going to do, but I don't know how to get out of it. So Matt got special permission to be escorted in from the closest door to the stage, onto the stage, to meet and greet some people, and then escorted out again. He wasn't like allowed to wander around the show or anything like that. But yeah, to add to this hilarity, we were given directions on how to get round the back. And they were like, "Do you want to drive? You can just drive, it'll be easy." And we were like, "No, if we give him a walk, he'll be a bit more tired, so we'll walk him round." Except that where we thought we were going wasn't where we were going. There was a whole comedy of errors which I won't go into, but basically we were sent off on a wild goose chase and we ended up somewhere totally lost at the back of the NEC. We're like, "Where the heck have we got to go? We've only got 20 minutes till I'm supposed to be on stage." And a guy, lovely guy around the back who helped us, he was like, "Oh, you've got a good half an hour walk there. We've got 20 minutes. He's like, "Oh, it's going to be tight." Like, it can't be tight. I'm on stage. So I went into the NEC like the normal way, and Mr. WB, he ran with Mac around the back to get to the stage door. They made it with like, get your paws off my table. Made it with like 5 minutes to go. They were both exhausted, bless them. He did so well getting him there on time. But he made it. The problem was, he had every intention of being front and centre and getting this great view so he could video it all, because I know last year you couldn't really see my face. It was just the back of people's heads. So we were trying to do better this year and get a better shot and everything, but it was full. Like, there was nowhere for him to sit, bless him. So you've got an angle as if you're in the audience, slightly off to one side. He did his absolute best. He did move the camera every now and then to try and get it around people's heads, so I hope you'll forgive him for that. And every now and then the audio is a bit random. The problem with the GoPro is it picks up whatever it's pointing at. So yeah, there is a little few moments that I hope you will forgive him for, because he did his best, and I'm very grateful for him for running like a crazy loon with Mac. For that alone, I think this video deserves a thumbs up, but I'll let you be the judge of that. If you're not already subscribed to our channel and you're not aware of the craziness that randomly occurs in our life with absolutely no planning whatsoever, subscribe, honestly, the dog. Yeah, hit subscribe, and we try to put out 2 videos a week. They're normally Wednesdays and Sundays, but I asked a few weeks ago if you guys cared when they came out, and you didn't. So hit the little bell, because we just kind of release them as they're ready, and if you haven't got the bell released, YouTube will not tell you when our next video is out. So without any further whittering from me, because this video is quite long enough without any more of me talking, I hope you enjoy the speech. If you've got any questions, drop them below and I will do my best to answer them. There's also some links in the video notes for things that I mentioned in the speech and that you might find useful, so make sure you check out those video notes, and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay, what have we got now? This is fantastic. In the last couple of years, our next guest has visited no less than 19 plus countries and driven over 60,000 miles with her slightly bewildered husband and a very overexcited puppy called Mac that we'll see in a sec. Whether it's a long weekend in the UK or a month on the wrong side of the road in Europe. She wants to fire you up, and that's what she's going to do. Please welcome onto the stage the wandering bird that is Catherine Bird. Yes, she is. Give it back.
Arrange stickers and treats and job. Bear with me 2 seconds. Hi. I'm Kat from Motorhome Travel website Wandering Bird. Today I'm going to share some tips with you about taking a motorhome or campervan to Europe. We have roughly decided that there are 2 types of people. There's the type of people who will get in their van, they'll grab their keys and their phone, they'll head across the channel and they'll be like, yeah, this is amazing, let's have an adventure. With very little planning or preparation or knowledge. That's my husband, he is definitely type 1, and all of you are sitting there going, what's it just about taking your motorhome to Europe? That's you too. The rest of us like a little bit more knowledge. Where we're going to stay, how we're going to get water or gas, or how we're going to look after our animals as we travel. Let's give you a little bit less lead. So today I'm going to share some tips with you on how you're going to do that, and give you a little bit more preparation when you take your van across. I know it's exciting, isn't it? Yeah, never worked with animals. So before we start that, a little bit about us. We bought our very first motorhome in 2017 with very little research or knowledge on what we're doing. In fact, how many of you are looking at buying your first van or motorhome in the next 6 to 12 months? You are already like a million light years ahead of where we were because we didn't even come to a show first off. And you're doing well, you're fine. We took our very first van, here she is there, with the Louis Candy, and we spent 5 days down in southern Wales. It's beautiful, I recommend everybody go, and don't recommend you go right at the moment. You're having some fun there so far, let's give you a drink. But it is beautiful. So we spent 5 days down there learning how it all worked, how to turn the gas on, fun things like that. And then we spent 10 days up in Scotland, which again is stunning. We did the Isle of Skye, we did Orkney. We did try and take our motorhome with a trailer towing some motorbikes into the middle of Edinburgh. Don't do that, that was a catastrophic mistake and we caused absolute mayhem. But we learned a lot. So with this grand total of 15 days motorhome experience ever, my husband, type 1 member, let's go to Europe. So we headed to Europe. We headed to Europe in August. That was mistake number 1. Admittedly, we were constrained by the school holidays at the time, but we also headed to the Italian lakes in August, in a motorhome with a trailer. Italian lakes are stunning. Again, recommend everybody go when they can, but don't go in August. It's so busy. We hadn't experienced. It's like Cornwall on steroids. So many people, very, very narrow roads. In fact, sometimes you can't actually get 2 motorhomes to pass each other on the road. Nobody's doing anything wrong, but you're so tightly packed together and the roads are so small. As a random aside, motorhomes, the wind mirror protectors, brilliant. Get us there, the best food you've ever spent, because there's so many times we sort of scraped our way down the woods. Learning experience, absolutely, you understand that. One thing that we did discover when we were in Italy was that if you hadn't booked a campsite in the middle of August for your motorhome, you can't get one as you randomly turn up, and having spent 10 days in Scotland wild camping, this was a bit of a culture shock for us. So we had to learn about these things called sostas, which are kind of like the Italian version of airs. If you don't know what they are approved motorhome parking places that are run by the local councils. But we didn't know how these things worked, and it turns out there's kind of a rhythm to them. People leave after leisurely breakfast, sort of 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and they trundle down the road a couple of hours, and they turn up at the next one by 3 o'clock in time to open a bottle of wine. And so we started being really clever about this, and we started leaving at about 12, and we get to the next one by 2. Except that we weren't going very far, we weren't really enjoying our experience, too many people, too crowded, and we weren't seeing what we wanted to see. It wasn't quite what we had in mind. Which is when we discovered something amazing about motorhomes. You can move them if you don't like where you end up. It's magical. People who've always rented hotels or villas or things, if you don't like your neighbours or the kids are too noisy, you can just shift and change your plans. So our 2-week trip to Italy actually turned into 4 days in Italy and about a week and a half in the Swiss Alps. As you can see, we like the Swiss Alps because you can wild camp in the middle of nowhere. It was magical. There were a few terrifying moments, such as when we were going down our 3rd mountain pass and our brakes failed. I wish I were being dramatic, but they genuinely failed. I'm eternally grateful that my husband was driving. He understands this thing called engine braking and hand brakes and stuff. But we managed to get down there. We managed to get around all these hairpin bends, and we arrived at the bottom of this mountain, this sort of cloud of steam and smoke and white knuckles and absolute panic. The guy at the garage at the bottom of the mountain in this town that we pulled into, he sort of came out, didn't speak a word of English, why should he, we were in Switzerland, and just went in the universal, oh. But again, as part of the learning curve, something catastrophic happened, and I guarantee whether you stay in the UK or whether you go abroad to Europe, if you motorhome for long enough, something will go wrong. And you can fix it. Yes, it's terrifying in a foreign language where you have no clue what they're saying, you don't really understand what they're doing, but it will happen. And Google Translate is another random aside. On your app, the one that you talk into and then they will talk in their language and it works, that's fantastic. Put that on your phone if you're going to go. So we fell in love with the whole motorhoming life. We'd gone to Europe, we'd conquered our demons, we'd figured out how to get water and gas and all this kind of stuff. Admittedly, we took it a little further than just holidays, because we came back from this very first trip and we decided that I was going to quit my job, we'd get rid of the house, we'd sell all our possessions, and we'd get a puppy, and then we would survive by touring Europe as much as we possibly can, living off my husband's wage. And that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years, so we've been all over the place, it's been good fun. Just a few places to entice you before I get back to tips for you to go. This is Norway, which is spectacular. I can't overstate it enough. However, it's not somewhere to go for a 2-week trip. We had 5 weeks. We thought we'd do pretty much most of the country in 5 weeks. Yeah, we didn't even get a third of the way up. But it is beautiful. And if you do ever get a big chunk of holiday that you can go and explore that, highly, highly recommend that. Another place that we have loved is Germany. Now, I didn't ever really fancy Germany, I'll be honest. I don't know why, nothing against any Germans whatsoever. I didn't fancy it, but my husband really wanted to go, and apparently we're supposed to share these things. So we went to Germany. It was amazing, especially Black Forest. We did all the castles, we did the whole southern German route. Brilliant. And as you know, this was Lake Constance. It was just really pretty. We were very lucky with the weather. This was April, not like here in April. Our very last trip was to Slovenia and Croatia, and on the way we stopped at this little tiny place that everyone talks about called the Dolomites. We didn't really know what to expect, and we did not expect views like that. It is incredible. Possibly rival Norway, the Dolomites. We loved it. And this was a wild camping at the top of a random mountain. It was that high, I actually almost had a little bit of altitude sickness. It was crazy. But the views, as you can see, were stunning. So there's a little bit of the places that we have gone. What I'm going to do now is share with you some actual tips that will help you feel hopefully a little bit more confident about taking your van over there. By all means, take notes if you feel like it. If you really want to watch this again, video it. But if you want a free checklist, roughly what I'm going to be talking to you about today, go to my website wandering-bird.com/NEC, and I put together a checklist for you that you can download for free, you can print it out, take it with you, and hopefully it will help you remember everything that you need to know before you go. So, once you've arranged your holiday and got your boss to agree, I can't help you with that, I'm sorry. The first thing that you need to figure out is how you're going to get you and your van from the UK and our little island over to mainland Europe. You've got two options, ferry or tunnel. If I only had to pick one option ever, I would pick the Eurotunnel because it's more convenient, it's generally cheaper. You can use Tesco Club Card vouchers to get some money off, brilliant. But also you have much more options on when you go and you can fit it in with your lifestyle. However, the ferry is brilliant if you're planning on going somewhere like the west coast of France. It's also really useful if you live anywhere that's not around Calais, because trying to get to Folkestone and Calais and then get all the way back to West France or southern Spain or anything like that, you're doing an awful lot of driving. So we use the ferry quite a lot because it gives us a break from driving, and we arrive in Europe a little bit more rested, ready to go. And we've also discovered you can now get pet-friendly cabins on some of the routes, especially from Portsmouth to Pont. So he can come with us, we don't have to leave him in the motorhome, which we don't like doing. So he is sitting in a cabin with us and can enjoy the experience a little bit more. So that's the first thing to do, and I highly recommend, especially if you're travelling on school holidays, book up whether it's ferry or tunnel as quickly as possible, because they do get booked up. And the next thing is the bit that seems to terrify most people, is the list of stuff you need. Now I know we need some stuff over here, but it's not anywhere near as strictly enforced as it is in Europe. The first thing you need is a high visibility jacket per person. A baby in a crib does not need one, but a toddler who can wiggle out of your arms and run into the road does. You can buy child-sized ones. They've probably got some in the show here. You can also get them from a well-known online retailer, starts with an A, ends in Amazon, for about a fraction of the price. You do need to have access to your jackets, all of your jackets, from within the vehicle. So don't put them in your garage if you're lucky enough to have one on a motorhome. You've got to be able to get them before you get out on the roadside. A couple of other things you need that caught us out. Obviously you need your headlight converters because you're driving on the other side of the road, which isn't as terrifying as it sounds, I promise, but I know it can feel like it. Quick tip on those, we used to fit them when we were on the ferry or the tunnel, but they started packing you in so close together now you can't actually do anything fun. You can't actually get between the vehicles to fit them properly, so we now fit them while we're waiting for the ferry or the tunnel. The trick is to remember to take them off when you come back, which I won't tell you how many times we've forgotten to do that, but hey. Warning triangle first aid kit. First aid kit isn't mandatory in every country in Europe, but in enough of them to make it worthwhile. There is not a list of stuff you have to carry in your first aid kit, just carry one with your general basic things that you would need. GB sticker. Now that little blue one with the gold ring of stars, yeah, from the end of this year that's not going to be valid anymore, so you're going to need to get another one on your vehicle. You can get little stickers that go over that, you don't need to buy one on your reg plate, but you will need a GB sticker. If you're going in winter, depending on where you're travelling to in Europe, you will probably need some form of snow chains or winter tyres that will conform with the local requirements. There's a great big long list of these things all over the place on Google, but make sure that you have them with you. One thing that's kind of new and is worrying a lot of people are things called crit air stickers. These are basically clean air environments that they put around some big cities, especially in France, Paris being an obvious one. And in order to, it's a bit like the congestion zone in London, if you want to drive within that zone you have to have a sticker. It's not that difficult to order them, but it does take a couple of weeks. It's not something you can get on the day or as a whim decide you're going to drive into there. However, vignettes, if you're going somewhere like Switzerland or Austria, you can buy those on the border. Most garages, petrol stations, places, little shops, all those, they sell them. And most of them speak English because they're used to us trundling through and not having a clue what we're doing. They are quite easy to get, but the quick air stickers you probably need to book in advance and order them before you leave. Okay, a couple more things. Paperwork. Some of this is self-explanatory, I'm not going to waste your time, although I am the idiot that left her passport on the photocopier, then drove 5 hours in the other direction. We had to show them and come back again. So bring your passport, bring your dog passport, easy to forget that one too, travel insurance. Now, IDPs and green cards, this year you do not need them. Because of all the changes that have happened, we're in a transition period at the moment, you don't need a green card from your insurer or an IDP. You've already got one great, international driving card, that's what you get from the post office. You will need them from next year, so this is something to bear in mind for next year if you're going. Breakdown cover, check the breakdown cover, especially if your vehicle's over 3.5 tons. I have heard from various sources that some of the most well-known breakdown cover in European circles are no longer covering vehicles over 3.5 tons, so make sure you check it before you buy. If you're hiring a vehicle from the UK and you're going to take it to Europe, they're not going to give you a logbook. I should probably say that actually. One thing that caught us out the first time we went is you need to take your actual proper vehicle logbook, not just a photocopy. The real thing. Don't leave it in your van, please. Treat it like you would a passport and keep it safe with you. But you need to have your actual real proper thing. If you're hiring a vehicle, they probably won't give you a logbook, so they will give you a letter that says you're allowed to take it out of the country and you're allowed to go to X, Y, and Z with it. Couple more things. Now this is not stuff you have to have, and if you're planning on going on a campsite by a beach with a pool and a restaurant, you don't need half of this stuff. It sounds idyllic actually, let's do that. But if you are planning on spending some more time at airs or off-grid, this is stuff that we use. If you have got a vehicle bigger than a small camper van, I highly recommend that you get a proper dedicated sat-nav that you can put your dimensions in. I won't tell you how many times we've driven our motorhome with a trailer down a ridiculously small road and then had to reverse it. It's not fun. So a proper sat-nav will help avoid that as much as possible. Wi-Fi, we can travel with a teenager and both myself and my husband work from the road. If we don't have Wi-Fi, our line kind of stops, so there's a bit of a meltdown. If you travel with kids, you'll understand what that's like, so we recommend a Wi-Fi dongle or a proper dedicated, see a child over there going, yeah, we need Wi-Fi, definitely don't forget the Wi-Fi. The other things that we carry that we really highly recommend are a solar panel. Again, if you're staying in a campsite, we're going to have electric, we don't need to worry about that saving money, but a solar panel for us is essential. Now generators are kind of one of these things that polarises people. We never want to be that van that turns up in a beautiful remote spot and starts your genset. Don't do that. However, if you are in the middle of nowhere and you're camped up for a few days, it's really helpful to be able to recharge your batteries, get everything going again and keep it working. Same with an inverter. One way that we charge, here we go, last count is 3 laptops, 5 mobile phones, 2 iPads, a drone and a big camera is we charge all as we are driving and we use an inverter. We tend to drive 2 or 3 days, we do quite a lot of driving and then we'll stop for a day or two and explore where we are. And during those days when we're doing quite a lot of driving, we will plug stuff into the inverter and get it all charged so that it's ready for us when we are ready to use it. Same with the power pack, we keep the power pack top. I have the most power hungry laptop in the world, it's a MacBook Pro if you're interested. I love it. it died within about 6 hours. Apparently that's because I had too many tabs open, but that's the whole polarising issue that I found about my YouTube channel for. So those are the things that we recommend. Again, none of that is essential. You are not going to get in trouble if you don't have that on you. It's just tips that we've got. There are lots of different options for staying in Europe. Some of them are exactly what we've got in the UK. Some of them are a little bit more alien. Campsites, pretty much what you would expect, except that a lot of them are by lovely, beautiful beaches in the south of France, and they're really nice and warm, and you've got that sort of thing. Although we've got those in Cornwall as well. If you're going to want to book a campsite, especially in the school holidays, exactly like you would if you were going to Cornwall, book it up as far in advance as you possibly can, because they do get booked up. If you're going more inland or away from main touristy areas, you've got a bit more flexibility and they don't get quite as full. If you're lucky enough to be able to travel outside of the school holidays like we are now, our daughter's 18, it's magical, get an ACSI card. We've only recently discovered one of these, I believe they're here at the show, that allows you 40% off exactly the same campsite outside of the peak periods. And we've used them all around Slovenia and Croatia where it's quite difficult to find airs or wild camping, and we were able to save quite a lot of money doing that, so we think that's really worth doing. Okay, airs. Airs are called airs in France and several other countries around Europe. They're called Sofsters in Italy, they're called Stellplatz in Germany. They are all exactly the same thing. They are approved motorhome parking places provided by the local councils of towns and villages to entice motorhomes to come and visit their area, spend your money in their area. They can be free, they're more often going to be a couple of euros, anywhere up to 10 euros. You often won't have electric facilities, so you need to be self-sufficient, hence things like solar panel, but they often have fresh water available for €1 or two to be able to top up, and you'll be able to empty your waste and empty your toilet for an extra couple of euros. We love them, we think they're fantastic. One of the things we love most about Europe is the fact that they're not made to feel like an inconvenience. They actually put you near places you want to go. There'll be shops there, there'll be a major tourist attraction there. You cannot book an air in advance. And this blew my tiny mind when we first went to Europe. How can you have a motorhome place that you don't book in advance? But you can't. It's literally first come, first served. They can be anywhere from a few spaces to 30 or 40 spaces. There are a couple of ways that we find them. We use a couple of apps. One's called Park Tonight, the other one's called Camp Contact. If you're in the UK a lot, there's one called Search the Site, which is very good in the UK. We use them to find them as we travel, and literally we have no idea where we're going to end up. We see how far we drive down the road, and within about an hour or two of where we want to stop, I'll start looking for suitable air. Another way of doing that, because the problem with using an app is if you don't have Wi-Fi, see the whole lot about Wi-Fi. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't actually find where you're going to stay tonight. So there is a book called All the Airs. There's a couple of editions of it, and that is very useful to carry on board as well. A problem with the book we found is that it obviously isn't updated as regularly as the app would be, so there have been occasions where we've turned up somewhere and the air has become a car park or a kid's playground or something, and you've got no way of knowing that because obviously the book isn't up to date. So that's how we use airs. Now, wild and free camping is very similar to using airs in a lot of ways, except that you're generally staying much further away and there are very few, perhaps no facilities. We love it. That photo of us up on the top of the Swiss mountains is one of our favourite places because we just like being able to be free and away from people. And the dog can open and run out as much as he likes. We love that. If you're not sure about wild and free camping and you're a little bit worried about security and stuff, an excellent alternative is something called France Passion. Very, very similar to what we have in the UK called Ripstop. And it's basically a collection of businesses which have gathered together and will allow you to stay for free on their land in return for you buying a meal at their restaurant. In France they have vineyards and you can go and buy a bottle of wine or a vineyard. I believe there's also a snail farm in France, which just sounds random. I'm guessing you have to buy snails or something. But that sounds kind of fun. It's France Passion, and there are similar schemes. Italy, I think, has got two. Sweden have just got one. There's them all over Europe, and that will allow you to, especially if you like doing things like vineyard tours and wine tastings, you can combine both of your passions at the same time and stay places for free. So, let me run through some practicalities of things for you so that you can understand how stuff works. Gas. We are the idiots that turned up in France on a bank holiday weekend, having had the motorhome for about a year, so you think you know what we're doing by this point. I thought my husband was getting the gas, he thought I was getting the gas, quite clearly I was right. And we had absolutely no gas whatsoever for about 4 days in March in the middle of France. It was so cold. Funny enough, that was the last time my daughter actually went travelling with us. Can't imagine why. Because if you don't know, you can't just buy a gas bottle. We could buy a gas bottle, but the connections in France and all over Europe are different. You can't just connect it to your UK system. You need different pigtails and connections. I believe there are 3 different types that will cover you for the whole of Europe. We didn't have any of them because obviously we thought we had gas. A better solution in our opinion, if you're going to be using it a lot, is to get a refillable gas system. We now have got that fitted. To give you an idea on how much gas we use, we carry a 6 and an 11 kilogram gas bottle. We can go for 2 weeks in the summer and not even think about gas. It easily outlasts that. In winter, if we get a week out of that, we're doing really, really well. Let me just give him a treat, sorry. We're doing really well to get a week out of all that gas. So it depends when you're going and how long you're travelling for and how warm you like your motorhome to be, I suppose. But if you are going to have to renew it, just remember you're going to have to find a way of getting a new bottle. If you're going to be travelling and you're buying a bottle, you're also paying the deposit each time if you're buying a new bottle, and then you're stuck with it. You're not going to get the deposit back. So that's something to think about with how often you're going to be replacing your gas. Water. On campsites, not so much on air care because they're not as big, but on campsites they don't seem to have as many water taps as we do here in the UK. I don't know why, maybe we just stay at some weird campsites. But we found kind of 2 or 3 taps for an entire massive campsite, like 100 vans. And you can guarantee no matter where you are as far away from a water hose as possible. You've got a couple of options. You can pack up your awning, pack up all your chairs, drive down to the hose, get tutted out by all the friends, God forbid, to be taken up the water stands, whilst you fill up your tank. Yeah, a bit of a fact. One thing we do carry is we carry a really long water hose, which helps, but occasionally we're lucky enough we can strap it. You don't get tutted up because you're using the water tank. The best solution we have found is have a collapsible jug, and that will allow us to top up our tank. It takes about 4 or 5 trips. We have about a 15-litre jug that folds down about that high, and it allows us to just keep topping it up as we need it rather than having to keep driving around and shocking up this one at campsites for a few days. Driving in Europe, I could talk about driving in Europe for ages, but I'm going to run out of time, so I won't. If you have got a UK vehicle, and our vehicle is UK spec, we've got a right-hand drive steering wheel, and the UK side on the door. If you didn't know, UK doors and European doors are on totally different sides. We have never had an issue with a UK vehicle in Europe. If you're driving on your own, so you haven't got someone sitting in the passenger seat to see if it's safe to overtake the tractor, you might want to either buy or hire a left-hand drive vehicle. But otherwise, we don't really think it's worth worrying about too much. Don't forget that even though you're driving on the wrong side of the road system is set up for that. So all the signs are on that side. The roundabouts will have really helpful arrows to remind you when you forget. And everything on the slip roads, it's not as hard as it sounds, I promise. After about 10 minutes you won't even remember it. It's funny actually when we come back to the UK now, I'm having to really concentrate on which side of the road I'm supposed to be driving. Tolls and routes. Now there are, as there are in the UK, a million ways that you can get from A to B, especially if you don't really know where B is going to be at the time. One thing that worries people a lot is tolls, and I always boil it down to quite a simple situation. If you want to just meander and enjoy your holiday, then just take the back route and save yourself the toll money. If you've got a specific goal to get to, like we wanted to get to Slovenia and Croatia, we had 2.5 weeks to do it in, the tolls are definitely much quicker and they're not as much money as you think. There is a website called, I think it's viamichelin.com, it might be .co.uk, and you can actually put where you want to go and where your starting point is, and it will tell you as a rough guide how much your tolls are going to be and how much your vignettes are going to be, which is really useful. It's kind of annoying that it can't tell you if you're over 3 metres, you'll be charged as a category 4 vehicle, which is why we downsized our motorhome, because we stayed under 3 metres because we do some driving in Europe. It made quite a big difference on the amount. So on that site, I don't believe you can tell it that you're over 3 metres, but it'll give you a rough guide on which way the cheapest route is or not. There was a thing when Brexit was announced, and we're trying not to mention the B word too much today, there was a thing where people were reporting not being able to use their UK bank cards in Europe. I don't know how true that was, I don't know how much drama that was. I do know that we have used Halifax, Lloyds, American Express, and a couple of other ones as well. We haven't had an issue, ever. So I don't believe there are any problems using a UK card in France. However, if you can find a UK card that will not make you charges every time you make a transaction, that's brilliant. It's amazing how many times it adds up and how much money that can be over the course of a 2-week holiday. Emergency numbers. 112 works across the whole of Europe. Every country has their own local numbers, like we have 999, but 112 will work from your UK mobile anywhere in Europe, and I believe each section has at least one English speaker, so you will be able to get your point across should you need it. And travelling with pets. This one is a bit of a tough one at the moment. At the moment you need a pet passport, which can take 3 or 4 months. They need to have a microchip and they need to have the rabies jab. Now he needed 3 rabies jabs because we got him done when he was a puppy, he was growing. The rabies jab, there wasn't enough in the system, so we had to keep getting it redone, unfortunately. It took about 4 months to get his pet passport issued. So if you are planning on going away this summer, you only need a pet passport, but I would suggest you start that process as quickly as possible. Next year they're talking about cancelling the pet passport scheme, but let's not worry about that too much because until they actually make the rules, we don't know what they're going to be yet. So, I think that's most of the practicalities I've got. Don't forget that if you want a checklist on stuff that I've just thrown at you, you can go to wandering-berg.com/NEC and it will all be on there for you, along with lots of other tips that you might find useful. I think we've got a bit of time for some questions, if anybody's got one, and I'm hoping there's a Roland somewhere.
Is anybody?
Microphone, there he
Yes,
is.
I'm here.
Hi.
Fully prepared. Hello. Right. Anybody got a question? Catherine? Yeah. Careful.
We got excited.
Health and safety, tripping over a dog. What's your name, sir?
Keith.
Keith, hello.
I'm wondering how you deal with potable stroke non-potable water. How do you make sure you're getting clean drinking water? And if you can't get it, how do you make it drinkable?
Okay, so we have a bit of an issue with this. My husband spent a lot of time in the Middle East and he has experienced the effects of really, really bad water. So he is very, very conscious about bad water. So we do buy bottled water if we're concerned, but we've also just invested in something called a lifesaver, which is like a jerry can with a filter on it. And it is supposed to take out 99.9999999% of all bacteria ever. We've drunk from it, it tastes exactly like water. I'm not a scientist, I couldn't tell you whether it's working or not, but that's what we are now using because we're trying very hard to reduce our plastic usage. And that's something we're being quite conscious about, so we thought we would invest in one of those. It lasts about 7 years at our rough usage rate, and that's what we have been trying to move on to get away from the plastic bottles.
Anybody else got a question they'd like to ask? Catherine, before we go, curiosity, yeah, we can go to the man there. Right. Hello, sir, what's your name?
My name's Ian.
Ian, good.
This isn't so much about camping, it's just enjoying the match. Who sings the theme tune to your channel?
Oh my goodness me. I will fight, it's normally on the bottom of there it is, bless you. It's not me, that's for sure.
Sing a bit of it, I haven't heard it. How does it go?
Oh my goodness me, I can't even remember now.
You must know it, sir. Come on, give us a... Go on, just one chorus, go on.
People have told me it's annoying, shall I get rid of it or shall I keep it? Do you want me to keep it? Okay, alright.
Alright, anybody else got a question? I'll walk down here.
Oh, thank you, okay.
You like the feature? Okay, what's your name?
Helen.
Hello.
In terms of security of the van, your possessions,
Yeah.
I've got a van and plan to go do it probably on my own, but in terms of how are you looking at keeping your property safe when you're in it and not in it?
Yeah, and that is a concern that I have, especially because he still flips between the UK and Europe, so I am on my own with him quite a lot. He is next to useless, honestly. If anyone came near the van, he'd lick them to death. And funny enough, not bark at anyone that's sort of a million miles away, but if they walk to the van, not so, there are a couple of things that we do. I try very hard to avoid areas, a lot of it's down to my gut. And I know you can't explain that to somebody else, but if I'm not sure, I won't stay there. So that's, I try and go for the prevention rather than cure things. Funny enough, we've just invested in an extra lock for our cab, and we got a Malenko one that I have not tried yet, so this is not an endorsement in any way, because I literally bought it about 3 hours ago. But you can lock it from the inside and the outs, which will make me feel a little bit more secure. There are all sorts of tips and tricks that we use in terms of you can get a tensioning strap between the 2 cab doors so they can't open them. And we also recommend that you find somewhere on your van that's safe, that's not obvious. On our last van it was amazing, it had an electric drop-down bed, and if you took the key out you couldn't get that bed down for love nor money, so my laptop and everything lived up there. We haven't got that on the new one, unfortunately. But yeah, find somewhere really secure to put your valuables in. And I don't travel with any jewellery. I haven't even got any jewellery on. I don't. So I keep my passport on me at all times and the logbook. And anything that I really don't want to lose, I will try and take with me as much as I possibly can. Alright?
Right. Anybody else have a question? Right over there. Oh, you should have booked in advance there, you're miles away. Hang on a sec. I don't do running. Right, what's your name?
My name's Dave.
Dave, hey.
Hiya. Just inquiring about insurance. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you're doing about 15,000 miles.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of quotes, and the max that they're talking about is about 8,000.
Yeah.
Who are you actually using?
So, because we tow motorbikes, we had real trouble with this. We found, having done for about a year, that our motorhome insurance was not going to insure the trailer with the bikes on it. Our bike insurance certainly wasn't going to insure the bikes when they were on the trailer. So we've actually ended up going to a broker to get a specialist policy. I've always been a bit wary about brokers. I thought that they would cost a lot more money. I think it was only about £100 more, and we have got it in writing what's insured. They insure the entire thing, and we have got much more mileage than we would ever get. I think we've got about 40,000 miles a year.
That's good.
Are those details on your website?
Funny enough, we're going to be, because I've just asked you if we can do it. But if you want to, I'll give you my card. If you want to send me an email, I can send you them through. Not a
Will do.
problem.
Thanks, Kat.
Yeah, no worries.
Anybody else? Got
Have
an
you got
inquiry?
anyone in there?
Well, over here. Thanks for talking there. Right. Time of the day. What's your name? Ian. Of course it is. What's your question?
I noticed you've not mentioned breathalyzer kits.
Aha.
Or we need them for France.
Repeat after me, Ian. You do not need a breathalyzer. It was a rule put in, I don't know how many years ago. They very quietly removed it. You don't need one. It doesn't exist. Apparently, there is a concern that they may bring them back. If you've got one, carry one by all means. But you do not need a breathalyzer at the moment in France or anywhere else.
Can I just put my hand up on that front? There are road policemen that will stop you, and they'll make you'll think, blimey, I've been stopped by the police, and they'll breathalyze you with rigged breathalyzers. Yeah, so you breathe into it, and they go, you're over the limit, sir, that's going to cost you €500.
Yeah.
Look, it's there. If you have got your own breathalyzer kit, you can go, hang on a second, get yours out, blow into it, there you go, there we go. So be warned, always good to carry,
Always good to carry
in
one.
case somebody tries to pull a fast one.
On that note as well, it is perfectly legal to be pulled over by the wheel police, and they will fine you on the spot. Now, I'm going to make no disparaging comments about the French police and English drivers, but try and carry about €100 just in case, because if you don't have it on you, they will escort you in their police car to the nearest cash point and insist that you get money out. You can afford to write them a cheque, but you'll need to have a euro cheque, which most of us don't have. But that is legal in Europe. We don't need fires should that happen.
Right, one last question before we go. Hang on a sec. Hold on. What's your name, sir?
Keith again.
Yeah. Oh, of course it was. Keith, how you doing?
Back again.
Seems like only last year you were here.
Filling up your gas bottles, do you have any problem with that? Do you do it at petrol stations or?
Yeah. So there is a website called mylpg.eu, and that is, it shows you where the different filling stations are. I believe some of them on Park Tonight as well, we use it. But it's literally, you pull it now, you generally find the LPG on a separate pump to the main fuel. But you pull in, sometimes you have to go into the cashier desk and say, can you switch it on for me, because they don't always put the switch on. And you literally open it and fill it like you would fuel. We recommend wearing gloves. The first time we did it, there's a whole great big push of gas, and yeah. We put the pair of gloves on. We've actually got our filler located inside the locker. And everyone said, oh, you can't do that. But you can, because you open the locker anyway to see so you can see when it's full. So we've had no issue with that whatsoever.
Brilliant. Right, well, Sandy, that's all we've got time for. Can we have a massive, great big hand for Catherine and Matt?
I just want to say again a huge thank you from me and from Mac for coming to support us at the show on Friday. We are really grateful to all of you who came, who watched, who stayed, who came to us afterwards. It was so lovely to meet so many of you, and thank you for those of you who queued like I was somebody important. But it was really lovely to meet you. Once again, if you haven't already, give Mac a thumbs up, because honestly, to lie there for half an hour whilst I chatted and he hadn't got a clue what was going on, I was really impressed with him. So give him a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified when our next video is, which will hopefully be in a few days. I'm not quite sure what he's trashing on the boat, but he's trashing something. So I will leave you to it. I'll go fix whatever chaos he's causing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. What are you doing? What? Get your paws off my table. Get them off.